And I love this thing. It's great. It's different. It stands out. It makes all the cool noises. It's dumb in the best way possible. And the best part, I built it all by myself. But the one downside is I don't ever really drive it. And because I never drive it, I never work on it. So today, for the first time in a long time, we're gonna be working on the Focus. So what we're doing today isn't exactly a performance modification, but it's something that I've had sitting on a shelf for a while now, and I've been meaning to get to it, and I think it's finally time to get it done. What we're gonna be doing today is upgrading the fog lights on the Focus. So the fog lights that are on there are just the factory fog lights. They're wrapped in a yellow vinyl clear film that sort of turns the light yellow, but sort of like a greenish color. But the appearance of them when you look at them from the front is yellow. There's nothing really wrong with them. The output isn't great. The factory fog lights on the SVT cars are prone to break when they get hit by rocks or things like that. They're just plastic. All my SVT people probably know what I'm talking about. Today, we are going to be upgrading them with these guys. So these are Diode Dynamics Elite Series fog lamps. So a couple things about these fog lamps. They have a crazy output, which you'll see later in the video when we do some comparison. They are also available in both white or yellow. I went with the yellow option, and the output and the lens itself is yellow, which means that I still get to keep that cool appearance whenever looking at the car from the front of having yellow fog lights even when they're off. And these things are SAE compliant, so they're completely legal as fog lights. And the lens material that this is made out of is not just like a cheap plastic. It's much, much stronger, much more durable. They do have an amber backlight functionality, so it's got a separate wire on these things so that you can hook them up to like a parking light or something, so that if you don't have your fog lights on, it just kind of has like a slight amber glow that'll light up the entire lens. I'm not entirely sure if I'll hook that up or not. I may hook it up to like my parking lights or something. These are type A kit, so the bolt pattern, it's just this nice square. Unfortunately, the SVT ones don't line up perfectly with this, so I'm going to have to make a custom bracket to make these work. But they do make a bunch of different kits for a whole bunch of different cars. So if you have something you're interested in putting these on your own car, check their website. They have a whole bunch of different fitments that these work with, both the Elite Series and the Stage Series. And on the back of these things, the connectors are a Deutsch style connector, but Diode does provide you with adapters so that these will plug directly into whatever fog light connection you have, and then plug right back in there, and you can see that it has a little spade connector that will be used for the backlight so that you can kind of hook it up wherever you want. Let's see if we can get a little bracket made and get these things on the car. So as you can see, pretty big difference between these two fog lights. The Diode Dynamics light is a bit smaller than the factory one, but I have a plan. So I bought some of these sheets of ABS plastic off of Amazon, and I am going to use the factory bracket and cut out the shape that the original fog light sits into. And then I'm going to, in the center of that shape, cut out a hole that is the same size as the diode light. And then the diode light will sit in there, and then I'll drill holes in the ABS to mount the diode light to it. I'm gonna have to use a bit of a spacer to kind of get it to sit at the right depth inside of this bracket. And then I will use the black ABS plastic to fill in the gap that would normally be there. So these will kind of sit right in the middle. Get this bracket made and see how it looks.
There's so much plastic everywhere. But we got it. 2 of these guys are now fully cut out, so time to start working on how to mount the lights to the bracket themselves. Two almost done brackets.
Okay, so both of these are now installed in their brackets. So as you can see, I did use the spacers on both of them so that they sit in there. I think you can see it from this side best. They sit in there nice and flush, basically exactly where the factory lights sit depth-wise, so they'll sit the same depth in the bumper. We'll go ahead and get these put back on the car. Okay, so we got the fog lights installed. We got the amber backlight wired up to the parking lights so that they come on whenever the parking lights are turned on. And it looks incredible. I think it looks awesome with the parking lights turned on and the amber backlights as the fog lights. Looks really, really cool when those are the only things that are on. And then the fog lights are, of course, hooked up to the factory fog light switch. So whenever the fog lights are on, they're nice and bright and they have a really good cutoff. When I first installed them, they were, one was a little bit higher than the other, but the Elite Series fogs do have a little adjusting screw on there, so I went ahead and adjusted them, so now they're both perfectly level and aimed properly. So we'll take them out and we'll get some night shots once the sun goes down, and we'll see what it looks like with these things at night and see what kind of output they have. Just got back from taking this thing out for a spin. I gotta say, these things are much, much brighter than the factory fog lights, as you can see, but also they're so yellow. Like the output of them is much, much more yellow than what I had going on the front end of this car before. So definitely a huge upgrade. I mean, side-by-side comparison, there's a massive difference. So I think the big takeaway from working on this car is that after I worked on it, I took it out and drove it, which I've been doing a little bit more lately since I started this channel, but I still don't do a whole lot, and it really brought me back. I used to do a lot of fun stuff in this car. Just go out, play around on the streets, drive it too fast, legally, but I really haven't done anything like that in a while, and I kind of miss it. So, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna call the boys. Stay tuned.